legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet with Legal Candy on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned on the show where you can find help and hope. And with me is my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not psychic, Lynn Thornley.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here today. You've had a busy week, huh?
I did have a busy week.
But today's a good day. Today's a good day. We have Mr. Ed on the boards. How you doing today, Ed?
Trying to stay cool today.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Just so you know, because we had power outages the last couple of days with the poles they're replacing in here. Our air conditioning went out this morning.
No.
Yeah, but they fixed it in time for you to be here.
Thank goodness. I just bought a pool for my dog. I'm going to set it up tomorrow for Charlie. I think so. We'll see. If not, I'll go in it.
Then he might go.
Maybe. I got bubbles for him the other day. I'm blowing bubbles. He likes them. And
just make sure you set the pool up in the backyard.
Yeah. I have
Never
a condo, so it's not going to be too much room to set it up. With us today, I have my friend, Officer Joel Quattlebaum. How are you today?
Oh, fantastic. Great to be here, as always.
As always, I'm glad you're here. I want to give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Grace in St. Pete, Sandy in Dunedin, and Sheena in Largo.
Welcome, ladies.
And like I always say, there's always plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for new listeners, whether you're listening while we're live or on YouTube or Facebook or the website or whatever. Everywhere. So I'm very excited to say that all the videos from the conference went out this week.
I got them.
Yeah, I'm glad to everyone who registered for the conference. And then now I'm getting people that are emailing me and say, I forgot to register. Can you please send me the videos? But that's okay. I can do it. Why
you
not?
Can do it?
Yeah, because every week starting now is I make one of those videos live on public on YouTube.
Oh.
So everybody from the conference is privy to get them sooner. So that's the way that goes. I want to encourage you to go to the website and nominate a caregiver. We'll be presenting to a winner in the next couple of weeks. It's very easy. Takes you like a minute to do it. Every person that is nominated receives a gift from us. And I'm not just talking about professional caregivers. Somebody spoke to me recently and thought it was just for professional caregivers. Mm. It's for anyone who's a caregiver of any kind.
Everybody.
Yeah, just about. And you may not be taking care of someone that has Alzheimer's and dementia. You may be taking care of a disabled child, any kind. Just nominate them, because every single person that gets nominated receives a gift. And then once a quarter, we pick out one winner, and we just pick it randomly because you're all winners to us. And you get a big gift basket with a facial and a massage and some respite care. So, yeah, please. And everybody that gets nominated is just so grateful that someone nominated them. Somebody was thinking about them.
It's nice to be recognized.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a big job.
It is a big job. And they're always asking how your loved one is, not how you are usually.
Exactly.
But that's just the way it goes. But we're going to talk about a little hurricane preparedness, because it is the season. It's coming.
It is the season.
Did you hear how many?
What?
They predicted yesterday some of the biggest years ever. Something up to 25 storms.
We'll see.
It's El Nino.
Hurricane season is fast coming, and it's in Florida. You always keep your eyes open, ears open, trying to get ready as best you can. And just, I'm happy to be here today just to kind of shed some of the light on what we have encountered on the police department side of things, interacting with hurricanes, because it is something that failing to plan is never a good option.
No. And you know what? A lot of the planning
Start now.
Since we live in Florida.
Yes,
you can do that all year long.
It is coming.
You can every 6 months check your batteries. You can make sure you got bottles of water.
But didn't they start today the sale that you don't have to pay taxes?
The tax exempt sale. Yeah. So the hurricane, it's going to give you an opportunity to get supplies and things that you're going to want to stock up on. And that's something I'm going to talk about too, is just what to have on hand, emergency go bag, go kit. But yes, just that way you're not paying the tax side of things as well.
Which is a big deal,
nice.
especially if you're getting a generator or something.
Well,
but it's good for batteries.
And fixed income too. It's in my realm of things, working as the senior services officer at the PD, I always look at it from the lens of, we're working with a fixed income. How do we set up practically, preparedness kits? How do we get ready practically?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so, just one of the things I want to talk about today is just, getting ready, some of the things that you're going to want to have on hand, documents, materials, making sure that you're having the conversations with your family, and also having the conversations with your local law enforcement, local professional agencies out there as well. There's a lot of resources and a lot of ways that you can prepare your household, your family, and just be ready for the storm that inevitably will come, but hopefully not a direct hit, knock on wood.
Maybe not this year.
And it might not be this year. Yeah.
But meanwhile, you have peace of mind.
Exactly. You are ready to the best of your abilities. And that's what's most important. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter how many they predict. You just need one to have
Right.
Yeah.
a problem.
It just takes one.
They've been having horrific weather everywhere.
I know.
So knock wood, hopefully we won't have a horrific hurricane season. But
we will go to your house and be safe.
yeah, my house is safe.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk about what happens when you're not prepared.
So when you're not prepared, we have hurricane shelters. Okay. So one of the best ways, you might remember the old Mr. Miyagi, the Karate Kid,
Mhm.
best way to win fight Daniel-san, no be there, right? Okay. So that is how that's how you're successful for hurricane season. If the storm is coming towards you, don't be there. If at all possible, have the evacuation route, have plans. This might be the time for that family reunion that you didn't know was coming.
Yeah.
Go up north, take the opportunity to go see some family, stay with friends that are not in the area here. Just, if the storm's coming directly for your area, try and make plans that way you're not here. You're not having to handle all those logistics and administrative stuff that, just is a challenge overall, especially if you're a caregiver and you have, the responsibility and you're taking care of somebody else in their affairs as well. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and the other person you're taking care of may not even understand that there's a hurricane coming.
Exactly. So it's a lot of complicated moving parts. So if you can at all have a way of getting out of the area, if you find yourself unable to do so, or things develop too rapidly, there's a sudden change in course, then you're looking at an emergency shelter. If you're in one of those evacuation zones and you don't have the ability to stay at, let's say, a hotel, or because those tend to get booked very fast.
Exactly.
They tend to get booked very fast. So you don't ever want to count on that as your main safety plan.
Because in Florida, we have a lot of mobile homes. So those hotels,
they go really quickly. Quickly.
Last summer when the hurricane they said was coming this way, I live in a mobile home, so everybody booked.
Mhm.
There's a few of them on Seminole Boulevard though, but they got a call for the day of the storm.
Yeah, exactly.
Canceled.
Yep.
Closing up. We're in the way of the storm, and now they had nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm. And then you find a lot of displaced folks that are at the last minute trying to make emergency preparations. Instead of, they're kind of in that critical time frame of, we have to do something now quickly. So it's best to always have that preparation, that planning of, I'm going to go somewhere not here, but if not, then try and schedule your hotel, schedule your stay somewhere. But in the worst case scenario, when you find yourself stuck and there's nowhere to go, you will be looking at an emergency shelter.
and you know what? Just talk to your friends and family.
Yes.
Because plenty of people don't have to evacuate and have places that are safe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just say something ahead of time, I bet you a lot of people would say, just come to my place. You don't even have to worry about that. But we don't say that. We don't talk about it. We don't want to until we're in it. I remember my neighbor one time, all her storm shutters were down. And she was just like in the dark for 2 days. And I went over and knocked on the door. I was like, let us help you. We could bring some food or something.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask the questions too. If you're wondering, where can I go if I have pets, all
That's
these
the
questions.
pet thing.
All these things are very pertinent. So one of the biggest resources that you could ever have is the Hurricane Preparedness Guide. So Pinellas County publishes this.
Right.
It's available at your local grocery stores,
Libraries.
libraries, everywhere.
Drugstores usually.
Yeah, it's available a plethora of different places. Also, from us, you can always get it from City Hall. Largo Fire Rescue has a bunch of them as well. The police department has the questions. The resource guide is very comprehensive. I definitely recommend that you try and get that now and start reading through it, leafing through it, developing the plan now.
So what's some of the information that's in there?
So it's going to have evacuation zone. It's going to
tell you what zone you're in too,
Exactly.
because I'm sure there's people that moved here this year from out of state, and
they're learning the area.
First thing,
And they changed some of the zones too a couple of years ago. The Bs went to Cs. It was crazy.
And the other thing that's valuable in there is it's going to have a quick reference guide for what you should put in your go pack, what you should have emergency supply wise. It's going to talk about which shelters are pet friendly, which shelters are for those with medical needs. One of the big things that we've saw on the law enforcement side is, when we're looking at some of these hurricanes, we have folks that come to the main shelter, which in this area typically tends to be Largo High School. And then they come, and it might not be set up for medical needs. It might not be set up for pets. So check and see where they're designating as far as which ones are pet friendly shelters, which ones are going to be the medical needs shelters. But then also one of the big ticket items too is in there. You're going to see it on multiple pages. Alert Pinellas. If you've never heard of Alert Pinellas before, that is a big resource. Make sure you sign up now, because what you're going to receive is you'll receive prior to a storm, any type of warnings. You're going to receive updates via text, voicemail.
Right. That's good.
So for those that, .com don't live here, that don't do the internet thing, if you just have a regular landline phone, if you sign up your phone number, they will call and they'll leave a voicemail for you with updates on the storm. So that's a very good way to get your current information, because we do have a lot of folks that call into 911, they'll call into the non-emergency line, but there's a very easy way to get all the information sent directly to you. So, that way you're not trying to figure out the right questions to ask. You're being fed that information directly from EOC.
Now, these shelters, do they all have generators?
So not all shelters do. Some are schools, elementary schools that you're just designated as an emergency shelter. And so you're literally in a classroom that was just occupied probably for summer bridge or some other, might have just been cleaned, program, et cetera. So depending on where your nearest shelter is, it's going to vary. It's going to vary. So, and then also too, you might have electric or you might have a generator, but that doesn't mean that it's going to function 100% of the time.
Well, and the thing to know too is if you live in an area where you're not evacuating, but you have someone that's on oxygen, you can still lose power just because, you don't have to evacuate, but you can still lose power. And I didn't know this until my husband became ill, but if you contact Duke Energy, they will come and they will put a sticker on your thing and they will flag you. So if power goes down, you're like the first person that's going to get fixed up. If somebody was on, that's when I bought the generator.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, speaking of oxygen, if you're on oxygen or some type of a special needs, make sure that you register for the special needs shelter now before we get into that storm season, before we get into that, critical, we're trying to, fall back and figure out what we're going to do next. Pre-planning is huge when it comes to hurricanes.
And the fire department will pick you up,
They'll provide the transportation, will get you to that special needs shelter, but it's all about facilitating good communication. Good communication is absolutely key. Having a couple different things that you can do to get yourself ready, get your home ready is the Pinellas County, the Yellow Dot program. We get a lot of calls for welfare checks, typically from family up north, saying, "Hey, I want you to go check on my aunt, on my grandmother, etc." Not answering the phone, and so a couple different things that I want to bring to everybody's attention today. Some of the different things that are available Pinellas County wise to get ready. Some of the different programs we have is the Yellow Dot program, which is a decal that goes on the back of your vehicle, just an indicator for EMS, fire rescue, law enforement. Look in the glove box for a list of medications, primary care physician, any pertinent medical information. But then also they have the compartment program as well, where it's a vial of life. The decal goes on the front door of the home. Indicator, EMS, fire rescue, law enforcement to look on the refrigerator for any type of medications. Same packet of information, it's just on your refrigerator.
So what kind of, to sign up for a special needs shelter, what kind of paperwork do you need for that?
So you can do it online. You can call in. They have the main number. The best thing that you could get, honestly, is that hurricane guide. Pick up that. Like I said, it's available very, very broad dissemination here in Pinellas County, or you can go to the EOC website for Pinellas County as well, and it'll get you over to that link.
Okay.
Plan now. Get that registration. If there is a special needs, make sure you do that now. The other thing too is, start communicating with your local agencies, local law enforcement. Law enforcement utilizes what we call a computer-aided dispatch system, a CAD. And so if you're a caregiver for somebody with special needs, say oxygen, say your caregiver loved one had dementia or Alzheimer's, etc., then have that communication now, so that way when law enforcement, if they have to come out for a welfare check or whatever it may be, it's on the home. You can put a note on there. Our dispatchers can help with that. As far as, there's a special needs individual at the home here that has medical considerations or cognitive considerations, etc.
And the thing is, once again, planning ahead, because when you're in that panic mode, the internet might be down. You might not be able to register. You might not,
Exactly. The other thing too is for our Largo residents, one of the things that the police department does is we have a RMS ID bracelet program and a safety net program as well. So for those that have like medical conditions or cognitive decline, et cetera, or even just other considerations, an RMS ID bracelet, it's kind of like a medical alert bracelet, still, but it's got a metal clasp on there. It's engraved simply, if located, contact Largo PD, non-emergency number, and then your record management system number, RMS ID number. And so if something happens, if somebody in the shelter, let's say your loved one wanders off, and then somebody says that person doesn't look right, and we go over and check, and they have the RMS ID bracelet, our dispatchers can look up their RMS number and find out who do we need to talk to, who do we need to find to reunite them safely.
Yeah, and where do they get that?
So you can contact myself over at Largo Police Department Senior Services, 727-586-7351 is my direct contact line, or shoot me an email. I'm happy to get one of those out to you. It's free. It's all grant funded. But that way you have that bracelet with that information that's kept in our CAD database. That way we can reunite during those emergency shelter situations, because it's happened.
I want people to think about your neighbors, because you all have that one neighbor that's living with dementia that shouldn't even be living by themselves, but they're okay and they can still drive a little. You know how that is. See if you can contact them or contact their family.
Have the communication now, start that conversation now before we head into the depth of the storm systems that are coming in here, before we get into hurricanes that are fast approaching. Now is the time, the calm before the storm, like they say, just there are a lot of programs out there. We do have our safety net tracking bracelets as well, which is radio frequency. So if somebody were to wander, we can locate them with radio frequency very precisely. We've had situations where folks have wandered prior to a storm's imminently coming, and we're trying to do a missing persons call for service just prior to a storm. So time can be of the essence. So just start planning now, start having those conversations.
Yeah, and if it is your neighbor or something, and there's some issues, just contact their family and just say, hurricane season's coming here soon, and I'm worried about your mom. I want to see if there's any way I can help out. And people want to do that. They want to take care of that.
Exactly. So just some of the key things that you can do: simply sign up for Alert Pinellas for the notifications, sign up for the special needs shelters, get that hurricane guide, start leafing through it, start looking at what materials to have, go bag, emergency supply kits, etc. Have that conversation with local law enforcement. If there's a special needs or cognitive component, have that information put onto the residents in the CAD system, the computer-aided dispatch. These are all simple little things that can be done ahead of time. So that way, in that kind of that critical moment in those emergency situations when the storm's on their doorstep, we're not trying to fall back and do all this rush.
And if you need flashlights and everything, go get them now. It's a tax,
your batteries
tax
and
off
your
deal
water.
now for anybody that's buying any of that kind of stuff. Just be to stock up.
You need a lot of water, they say, per person per day.
You do. And so one of the things that I like to highlight too, as far as things to have readily available, whether you're going to go into a shelter or not, if you're going to evacuate or not, having your pertinent documents is very, very important, having those readily available, but stored securely. One of the things that I've encountered is when we go into shelter operations, we've had folks, because again, that's a lifeboat. It's not a cruise ship. So you have everybody from all demographics, socioeconomic, et cetera. And you have everybody together, very close quarters. And we've had folks that had their Social Security card out, they had their credit cards, their checks, and they're right next to other people, very close proximity. Keep your sensitive information secure as much as possible, because you're going to be in very close quarters with other people. Okay. And people that you don't know. These aren't your neighbors from the mobile home park, from the senior apartment complex. These are folks from everywhere in the community. So just make sure you try and keep your information as safe as possible during those type of situations.
Yeah, you should have
everybody
cash,
together.
right? In case the banks go down or the gas goes down, a lot of times they'll only do cash.
So let's talk a little bit about money. Okay. Let's talk about money, because cash is king, like they always say, right? So when you talk about hurricane operations, so cash, having the right amount is good. Having an exorbitant amount is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we've had, folks where they'll bring in large copious quantities of cash, and they're trying to leaf through it. And again, you're in very close quarters with somebody next to you, and that's just making yourself a target. So, having whatever you think you would need for purchasing of supplies, whether that be, a couple $100, $50, whatever is going to be appropriate for your needs, right? Depending on if it's you, is it you and your loved one, etc. Depending on the size of who you're with, right? But then also too, looking at as far as like credit cards, this is similar to traveling. So if you are, two things, if you're planning to travel as for your evacuation, contact your credit card company and let them know that you are traveling, so they don't lock your credit card when you're trying to get gas.
That happened to my sister.
If all of a sudden you find yourself in Odessa trying to swipe your credit card at the gas station, you might get frozen, which, credit card companies, good on them to try and prevent fraud, but they have the time to lock you down. Okay. That's not a good time.
Trying to run.
That's not a good time. I'm on the run,
Yeah.
But, have, again, that's part, set that travel plan up with your credit card company, but then also utilize credit cards with a lower limit. If you're traveling, trying to the area, try and utilize credit cards at these gas pumps that have a lower limit, just because, that's the time you got a bunch of things to consider. You got your loved one. You're not really checking all the security devices. You're not shaking the machine, checking, so you always look for a couple different things as far as tampering is, do they have the security seal? Is it in a well-lit area, LED lights? Just, some things to consider.
If you're not sure, you can go inside and pay. Etc. So, but think about that now. Try and use a credit card that's a little bit lower limit just to mitigate your risk of having any type of fraud issues. Yeah.
But just, have that plan now of what you're going to do. Have your credit cards. All right, got my low limit credit cards. I have cash on hand. I have my documents in place. By documents, I mean your power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, all those put together. Living will, make sure you have all that. Now, depending on what type of system you use, be it checks, etc., or, try and keep all the sensitive items together in a locked box of some type, if possible. Okay. Yeah. So that way it's somehow secured, because that's very sensitive information that can compromise what we call your PII, your personally identifiable information.
And they're very reasonable, the lock boxes. You can go on Amazon and order one, you'll have it tomorrow.
Not expensive. Exactly. You can order it in, have it now. Again, that's part of that preparation now, is order it in now so you have it, so you're ready.
Because they will run out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or just won't be able to get it.
Yeah. And so the other thing too to consider is, for our snowbirds that are leaving now, just, because I know we have a lot of people that have, already departed, but if those are the last bunch are trying to head up north now for the summer, one of the things to consider just from a crime prevention perspective is, let's say if you live in a mobile home community, one of the biggest red flags is when you have that chain across your driveway.
I know.
There. People do it all the time.
They do it all the time, so nobody will park on it.
Put the car cover over the car. That you're putting a neon sign pretty much on the front lawn saying, "I'm not home." So just some things that you can do. The Largo Police Department, myself and Officer Bowling, we offer a free residential security assessment. We'll come out to your home. We'll do it based on CPTED principles, international standard, crime prevention through environmental design. Takes about 30 minutes, but we'll look at doors, windows, latches, your lighting, do a lighting diagram for you and see where you're at as far as LED lighting security around the home. But then also what we do is we have a grant from the JAG-C, grant from Florida Department of Law Enforcement to install a lockbox. So I'm going to talk about that for a minute, because this is something
we're going to talk about
valuable.
that right after we listen to our sponsors. So don't go away.
That.
We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help, because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Sean W. Scott has been practicing elder law and qualifying clients for Medicaid for over 30 years. While his practice is in all areas of estate planning, such as durable power of attorney, healthcare surrogates, and wills, he also prides himself on having a 100% accuracy rate on getting clients approved for Medicaid. Why Medicaid, you may ask? Do you want to pay up to $16,000 a month for a nursing home should the time come? Obviously, no one wants to have to endure this cost. So even though you may have planned well for retirement, the reality is things happen. Planning ahead is never too soon. You need to make sure your income and assets are protected so that you can take care of you and your loved ones. Florida law is very specific on how and what is protected and how to protect it. Give Sean a call. He can help. 727-539-0181. That's 727-539-0181.
My mom was getting older, but she was able to live pretty independently until recently. When her case manager told me she would be discharged from rehab in just a few days, I didn't know what to do. But I knew for sure that she couldn't go back living alone at home. So that's when I contacted Sunway's Senior Living Concierge. My Senior Living Concierge, Lisa, was there for me through the whole process and was a free service for us to compare in-home care options and how that cost would compare to assisted living. With Lisa's help, we found a great new home for Mom, and she is thriving. Take it from me, don't go through this journey alone.
Hi, I'm Ellie Baldwin, co-founder and president of Sunway's Senior Living Concierge. We're a free placement and concierge service for families to help compare senior living communities and find the best place for you or a loved one. Call us today at 727-314-6451 or find us online at sunwaysseniorliving.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. So let's continue, Joel, with the conversation.
All right. So just in summary, so one of the things that the Largo Police Department will do as part of the SEPTED assessment will come out just as you're preparing your home for the hurricane for the summertime. We'll install a lockbox. It's an emergency access lockbox. It's a master lockbox supplied by the JAG-C grant. What it does is we keep the combination up in dispatch. So in case of an emergency, be it a welfare check, or something where somebody's down in the home, instead of having to make emergency entrance, break in the door, use a Halligan, et cetera, with the fire departments, we go out with them a lot. There's simply a code that we can get from dispatch. We'll go inside, render emergency aid, et cetera. So that's something that we offer for free as part of the grant program. So just
and what a good thing to have, because you don't know if you're going to fall in your house or something's going to happen. And if they don't have to bust your front door down,
if you got a neighbor, it helps neighbors check too. So family up north, if you're a distance caregiver and your loved ones down here, we're happy to come out. We'll put the lockbox out for you. So that way, you can have a system. Ask for help, right? Have neighbors checking on neighbors, have loved ones come check on, it gives that ease of access. So it's just something that it's an emergency, assistance tool for law enforcement, EMS, fire rescue, but also nothing precludes, a caregiver, loved one, neighbor can come check, etc. So
and one of the other thing I remember in one of the last storms, make sure you get a hand can opener.
Mm-hmm.
Because your electric can opener may not work.
That's on the list in that hurricane.
Yeah, because people get prepared and they get all this canned food and then they can't open it.
Mm-hmm.
And they work better anyway. That's all I ever use.
All I use too. But and also, if you have a neighbor that you know is a caregiver, just go and talk to them now, because maybe you could help them stock up on some groceries and water and stuff. That may be a hard deal for them to do. So, like I always say, when you go to the store and there's BOGO, your BOGO goes to your neighbor who's a caregiver because they need it.
And they say it takes a village. It truly does. We're all in this together. And don't stress about the hurricanes now. There's a lot that you can do to start setting yourself up for success. If you have questions, reference the hurricane guide, reach out to local law enforcement, fire departments, etc. We're all here to help, problem solve and set people up for success, especially our caregivers. It's the most thankless job and such hardworking folks.
And there's solutions. You don't have to be sitting in your home being nervous and being scared. What's going to happen? What can I do? And who's going to watch out for me? There are solutions. So.
Happy to help try and take some of the stress off the shoulders. As we know, every day you're there and you're giving your love and support to your family. So we're here to help as best we can.
All right. Can we talk about just one last thing, because I think it's important? Grab bars.
Oh yes, fall prevention always. Yes. If you're in your homes, make sure your home is fit There is a program called Home Fit that can help with that. The Disability Achievement Center can help you get grab bars as well. But please look at that, because falls prevention is absolutely huge. One of the number one calls for Largo Fire Rescue is falls in the home.
Yeah.
And something that definitely needs to be addressed. That way you can stay healthy and safe in your home as long as possible.
But people say, oh, I can't afford it and everything, but you can get free grab bars. There are places you can get
durable
free
medical equipment, etc.
Yeah.
And don't
so-
get the ones with the suction
No
cups.
suction cups.
Oh, no suction cups.
And if you need a resource with that, just contact me through my website, and I'll get that resource for you. Any last words?
Take care of each other. Have the conversation now. Start, preparing, planning now. And then if you have any questions, like I said, local law enforcement, EMS, fire rescue, we're here to help and create that safety plan for you ahead of the storm.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All the time. And now I have my friend
All
Kim
right.
Lacy here today.
Switch over here.
They're going to
Super
switch
nice to meet
seats.
you, for sure.
Be like, woo, musical chairs.
Yeah, we're going to do musical chairs.
You're going to come here.
Do I need to be in your?
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. So Kim and I we probably know each other like 5 years now, I'm thinking. Something like that. Time goes fast. It does go so fast. So Kim works with the Super Patch Company that, you know how crazy I am about the Super Patch Company.
Yeah.
Drug-free solutions. And it's so funny, too, because I patched a chiropractor the other day, and she's like, what drugs are in here? I said, there's no drugs in there. All patches have to have some kind of drugs in them. I go, no, they don't have to have. There's a technology in the patch.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
tell us about how you've been doing with the
Well,
patches.
after listening to this fine man's presentation, I was getting a little like, I got a lot to do for this storm season to come. And I was thinking, how about, a peace patch? So peace patch is a drug-free patch. You put it on your skin and it instantly calms you down. And I think we all need this during the storm season, because what happens? Okay, storm's on the way. We got 10 days out. Your emotions just
come.
ramp up
Yeah.
for the next 10 days until when the storm's really right here, everyone freaks out.
Yeah.
I mean, I freak out.
Yeah, everybody does. It's scary.
I
It
do.
gets dark. It gets windy.
I know. I think I'm cool until the day of it, and I'm like, and so I think a peace patch could be.
I
really
love the peace
good
patch. In fact, one of my caregivers, her mom passed away a couple months ago, and she's like, I have to do her eulogy, Linda, and I don't want to cry through the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, put this peace patch on, and she didn't cry, and she said, I just felt so much better the rest of the day. So yeah, something that you can see an instant reaction is unbelievable. The other day I was in my favorite Japanese restaurant, and the waitress comes up, and I don't even order. They know what I want. They just bring it, and she's like, "Oh, my arm really hurts. It's hurting me." And so I put a Liberty patch on her first, and then I gave her a Freedom patch. That's the pain patch. And a few minutes later, she comes back, and she's swinging her arm like a pendulum. And she's like, I can't believe this. So I'm going back there on Tuesday. She goes, we have a lot of people in the kitchen that are really hurting.
Right.
I said, bring them on out.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And then just last week, I was dropping off a pack of the Liberty patches to one of my she's quite old, I think in late maybe.
Yeah.
Because she feels so weak and she's so afraid of falling. So when you were talking about that, fall risk and, having the thing on the door, I mean,
yeah.
That would settle her down, because she only goes from the chair to the bed. That's it, because she's so afraid she's going to fall. So, she was like, I want to try these Liberty patches because I need strength, stability, and and energy. She's very low on energy. So, she just started them a couple of days ago. I'm going to see her tonight. Hopefully she's really feeling a big difference. I mean, these Liberty patches will reduce your fall risk by 8 times.
Well, one of my friends, she's 85.
Right.
So she started wearing the Liberty patch a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh.
And she said, Linda, for the first time in 6 months, I'm not afraid to take a shower.
Wow.
What
a gift.
She must have stunk.
She took it. She was just afraid.
Oh, Lynn.
But really, I mean, that can make such a big difference for somebody.
No, I understand being afraid of tripping and falling. I do. I was diagnosed with MS 10 years ago. So I've been wearing this technology for about 7 years or so. And, it's really been helping me feel more confident and live a much better quality of life.
Well, my story was I'm a big tripper.
Right.
I trip and fall. I get yanked. So I've been wearing the patch probably 4 years now, I think. I hadn't tripped once. So a few weeks ago, I decided I'm going to take a test and I'm not going to wear it for 3 days. Guess what? I tripped twice.
Oh, shit.
And you ruined another pair of shoes.
Yes, because if you look at my closet, you see all pre-patch ones. They're all scuffed up in a
They
mess.
are. It's
and all my new
amazing.
shoes are...
So
Amazing.
were you okay? You didn't fall.
No, I didn't fall.
No, I
But,
said to her,
I just wanted to, sometimes you
Yeah,
think...
you have to prove it to yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I said to her, your shoes. I said, "Oh, that's an old pair of shoes." She said, "No, it's not." I took the patch off.
Good
But
thing you have
I
her
think
around.
sometimes people do that. They don't realize it's working because they're not feeling a big deal kind of difference kind of thing.
With you, it was a big deal.
And so
though.
so
You
they stop
stopped
wearing
falling.
it. My biggest fear with my caregivers is the fear of the fall and over medication.
So one of the other things I was thinking about, because we're talking about preparation, and one of the things I will always have with me is the Freedom Patch, which is this cute little pink patch. The Freedom Patch is for pain specifically, and I like to have it with me in case. In case, right? And like last year, I fell down on my arm and I sprained it really bad. And I put one on immediately, and then I wrapped it and iced it for days, and it never swelled. It never bruised up at all. In fact, it was like almost shocking. I was like, because it was very serious sprain. It took me months to get back at it, but
it makes a difference. I never had any reason to use the pain patch, knock wood. But a couple of weeks ago, I went to, first I went into Manhattan and picked up my stepmother, and then we took the Amtrak to Rhode Island for my aunt's 90th birthday. My stepmother's like 4'10", and her suitcase is about 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And on the Amtrak, and I'm trying to, because I'm the helper, and as I pulled it, I pulled my back out. Oh, we just got there. And I didn't want to say nothing because I don't want her to feel bad.
Right.
Oh my God. I went in the bathroom at Amtrak, got it and put it on, and it really helped.
Literally.
It really helped.
Like for backaches or headaches, I mean, seriously, my back was hurting a couple days ago. I stuck one on and my back feels fantastic. I haven't even worn it in the last couple of days, but that one just somehow. Right. I don't know.
Amazing.
And if you are a headache sufferer, have headaches every day, I mean, I would just recommend putting it like on the back of your neck. And,
well, my cousin said, she said, when I went to Rhode Island, I'm telling everybody about it. And then she placed an order for a couple different patches. And she says to me, my neck always hurts. And she says, I put the patch on. She goes, and a few minutes later, I went like this, and there was kind of like a crack. She says it was like I had a chiropractic adjustment.
Wow.
She said it stopped hurting.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And this patch in particular, we have done a clinical study on. It's peer reviewed. It's in the journal. It's published. And we have amazing, like 82% of people that use it for 2 weeks have a dramatic reduction in their pain.
Yeah.
So it's a proven thing. It's not like, we're not just pretending. It's not just stories.
Yeah, if anybody goes to the website, you can see the reports from the doctors. You can see the studies.
They're very boring.
Yeah, they're very boring. But they're not making them up. But really, and there's so many different kind of patches. There are patches if you have trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
My cousin now is hooked on the focus patch. She says, I find it really helps me focus when I have to get things done. She says, I don't wear it every day, but when I know, she does a lot with genealogy, and it gets a little crazy-ish.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, so it really helps me out a lot. So like I said, the fear of the fall and too many meds is what scares me.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get rid of some of your medications. I have caregivers that are off their Xanax now and off other things. And I found myself, so it's allergy season, right? All the time in Florida.
Yeah, when?
Yeah. So when I wear the Defend patch, my nose doesn't run.
Oh, good.
And I didn't realize that until I didn't wear it because I did that whole test together.
Oh, right.
And I didn't wear any patches.
So you were a mess.
Yeah.
You were a sloppy mess.
I know. I would wake up in the morning, my nose was running. Now, years ago, when I woke up in the morning, and then I would take 2 allergy pills.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? So, yeah. And I have kids that are off their ADHD medicine. We don't ever be drugging kids. If we can help kids with this.
Absolutely.
It's so give me a success story. Oh, I love hearing that.
Thanks for just there's so many. Well, I was just talking to my friend yesterday, and she's a federal officer, of the law, and she.
Sort of like Mr. Quattlebaum.
Anyway, she was telling me her favorite patches, and she said that, like you said, she was just recently diagnosed with ADHD, so the focus patch has been huge for her. And she has a very stressful job, so she wears a peace patch. Makes a huge difference. She doesn't get snippy, doesn't get grumpy. She's able to just roll with whatever's going on because you just never know, And she also wears the freedom patch, and that really has helped her with some pain issues.
And what about Jen Moyer, our friend Jen? She found out when she was in her caregiving experience, she was gritting her teeth and didn't even realize she was gritting them until she broke 2 of them.
Mm.
And when she started wearing the peace patch after that, she wasn't gritting her teeth anymore.
For sure.
She had no teeth left.
Yeah, she grit them all down. But sometimes we don't even realize something we're doing.
No.
Or something else that's hurting us.
Right.
And during caregiving, you do get angry. I mean, as much as you think you don't, I can just, because someone said to me, you're wonderful. Your voice doesn't ever change. You get asked the same question over and over again. And I said, no, that's fine. But then I realized I was.
But you're still gritting your teeth.
But you try and keep your voice because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you sleep too, it's like,
no, you don't sleep.
Well,
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's another thing. So we do have a lot of and what's great, and I was talking to my friend about it, is that, you can put the peace patch on, and if you don't like it, you just take it off. It's not like you took a pill
and
or something that has
system.
X amount of hours
Right.
that you have to wait and you feel weird for however long. No, just take it off and then you're good.
Yeah.
It's very safe, age safe for all ages, from babies to whatever. And it just
and you know what,
gives you
just give
comfort.
it a try. I mean, you can go to the website. You get 25% off your first order, which is fabulous. And then what I find is, so somebody gets 25% off their first order, and they go, I want 25% off all the time because I like these patches and I want to get them all the time.
Right.
Well, you can get it's like a Costco membership, a little wholesale membership, and it's so well worth it.
Totally.
And if you can get off a medication, or you can just feel better, or you're not afraid to fall, or you're not afraid to take a shower, please just try it. 30-day money back guarantee. I don't know. I don't understand why people wouldn't even try it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And not one person has ever asked me to return anything.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So yeah. So and what's really cool now, Super Patch just has these big billboards in Times Square.
Uh-huh.
Do they? Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to be there for a year, 365 days. So one of my cousins
They're
goes,
electronic, light up. And
like you see them in Times Square.
Yeah.
So one of my cousins calls me and she goes, oh, maybe I'll try those patches, because if you guys can afford advertising in Times Square, that means you're selling millions of patches to millions of people. I said,
We are.
Yes.
We are.
And they're not buying them except because they work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't keep buying something that doesn't work.
Right.
But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's very
pretty cool.
Next year's picture will be up there.
No, that's okay. I don't need my picture. Any more places than it already is. All right. Right now, we're going to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week. So check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, And we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
We believe the power of the human body and mind can do amazing things, and that tapping into that power, not just tricking it with a temporary disguise, is possible. Superpatch technology uses a special pattern and vibrotactile technology to help you go from feeling blah to hurrah. Now, once the Superpatch is in contact with your skin, it triggers a neutral response in the brainstem that helps you tackle your daily problems head on. Whether you're struggling with pain, balance, stress, or focus, we have a solution that might be right for you. With Superpatch's 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. I started using the Liberty Patch over 3 years ago. I used to be a tripper, but since wearing the Liberty Patch, I haven't tripped once. The Liberty Patch is proven to reduce the risk of falling by up to 8 times. And as we all know, if you prevent the fall, you prevent the call. Don't wait until it's too late. Preventative solutions are the answer.
Superpatch does not claim to diagnose, treat, or cure illness. Superpatch is FDA registered. To receive 25% off your first order, go to sticktoit.info. That's sticktoit.info and learn more.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
So, talking more about the patches, there's also a patch called Kick It. Let's talk about the Kick It patch.
It doesn't mean kick your neighbor.
No, it doesn't mean that. So, a Kick It patch is if you have something you want to kick, you want to have it, you want to kick, whether it's smoking or
Drinking or overeating.
or whatever.
Does it
your
work
thing
for
is.
overeating too?
It can, yeah.
I think a lot of it is your mindset as you're using it, also, of course. But I have a couple of caregivers that aren't smoking anymore because they use the Kick It patch, and they didn't have to use it forever. They used it till they kicked it. So
Takes about 3 weeks, I believe, to kick it.
I don't know.
So, like,
One
after
worked-
a
one
month,
worked
you
for
might
like
be
2
okay.
months.
Yeah,
She
I would
worked like
say.
2 months, and I guess it depends. It's just like
How many you smoke?
Yeah. There's 2 other brand new patches. The Lumi patch for the skin.
Yep.
You had great success with that. I think I have great success
No,
with
you
that.
have actually. Now that I look, yeah, definitely.
And that's just to help
I
with
need that.
your skin,
Yeah.
and it helps your skin produce more collagen, which is really good. And then there's another new patch called the Rocket Patch, and that's for
Right.
men. I won't describe what it is, but it's a rocket. And that's a patch where, some men take it and find results right away, and some that are older may have to wear it for a few weeks.
A few weeks
before
yes.
it will kick in.
If you're over 50, it takes 3 weeks, I guess, is what it's been said. And people are getting great results with it. It's almost like having a Red Bull in the morning or something, because I have energy all day. I mean, my girlfriends are telling me about their husbands, and their husbands, instead of being like wiped out at the end of their long work day, they have energy still.
That's
They're not needing to
fabulous.
take naps. They're not feeling overwhelmed and exhausted anymore. They're much more youthful in their how they feel about their bodies and other things that are working better.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty good results from that. But I want to go back to Kick It. One thing, I have a girlfriend who wanted to stop eating sugar. She had a huge sugar craving, and the day she took Kick It, ever since, and she's been wearing it for I don't know, maybe it's 60 days now. She has no sugar cravings whatsoever, and she tested it.
That's
she
crazy.
didn't wear it. She took it off. She didn't wear it, and then for 2 days, and then on the second day, she was like, all of a sudden, her sugar cravings came back. So she just started wearing it again. So she's been able to, sugar craving is as bad as
tough.
just about anything.
Yeah.
So
and sugar is
hard.
everywhere.
Yeah, it is, and it's the way we celebrate, and it's just
Yeah.
It is. It's not like cigarettes
It's a
because
reward.
you can't smoke anywhere. You can. They don't,
Right.
you're not allowed, but candy and that's always out.
Absolutely.
for
And
you.
sometimes when you're trying to quit smoking, you just want to go to the candy. A lot of
of the
get
time.
sugar
Yeah.
craving
Yeah.
or they're stopping alcohol. Then they
then they gain
sugar
weight
cravings.
eating
So this should
something
help.
else.
This should help minimize those cravings, which what a huge help that is. And when you're talking about costs versus all these other bad habits,
yeah.
I mean, you can pay $300-400 a month smoking.
Easy.
Or drinking. You go out a couple nights a month, and you're definitely paying some big money for, a few drinks.
But once again, it's just about taking care of yourself.
Right.
And a better alternative than everything else that's out there. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm here in Pinellas, and you're up in...
I'm in Pasco,
So do you want to give your phone number if anybody wants to contact you?
Sure. It's 206. I'm from Seattle. 206-371-1173.
So if you're up in Kim's area, you can contact her.
I do house calls too, so that's fun.
Yeah, it is good. And we do have events where we just have more information about it. So if anybody's interested in that and they want to meet in person, just email me through the website and we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for everybody being here today. You know how much I appreciate you. I know your time is very valuable and very limited most of the time. That's why I'm glad we record everything in the world. My grandchildren aren't too glad about it. They're like, no, Grandma, we're going to have you forever. I'm like, yeah.
How nice is that?
It is nice. It is nice. So tune in next week for another great show. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.
As you talk about it, there.